The Rap Roundtable.
Yes. Another Monday on deck. The Rap Round Table returns. Sometimes you love us, sometimes you can't stand us. But you know what? Regardless of that fact, we show up each and every Monday. We show up every other Wednesday. We show up when news breaks. No matter how you feel about the Rap Round Table, we show up. It's your boy Jaw here alongside Consider Rap Snob, alongside Teeny the Balance,
Yo,
alongside the homie Mace. Hit the like button. We need 500 likes on each
Hold
and
up.
every
get
video.
him up.
I know we dropped on an odd day last week. A lot of y'all, I saw it in the chat even, not accustomed to the Thursday drops, but last week was Sin's birthday, so we had to move things back just
We was
slightly.
outside.
Facts.
Outside.
I know what you want me to tell y'all, man.
I mean, shout
We
out
was
Fergie
outside.
Baby. We was at the Fergie Baby show.
Salute.
Shout out J1. He was in the building for that. Kiss his young son.
Hell
Cool
yeah.
dude.
Good
And
vibes.
but having an episode 30, make sure you run that up. Pull up on that. I know we talked about the Drake beating. We had some Kendrick Lamar fans who felt way about specifically my perspective from the black and eventually the guys
Is it
understand my perspective.
is it just me
A
breaking
little bit
up?
more.
Or?
Yeah,
Yeah, it sounds like
Oh,
a
I
jaw
think you're
breaking up.
breaking
A
up.
little bit, jaw breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, it's choppy, Brody.
But what he's trying to say is, a lot of the guys spoke on the Drake blackout last week. There was a lot of perspectives on it. But the OVO, as the OVO captain,
The God.
the capo, you know what I mean? The Rap Roundtable faction of the embassy. I got to speak on, how I felt about it. You know what I mean? So, it was good to hear the fellas. You know what I mean? A lot of people feel like Dini and Sin was both for kind of agreeing with the situation. Jaw had some trepidation. Now, I feel like y'all know where I stand on the matter, right? I feel like it's a bit nonsensical, right? Now, I don't want to come off insulting to my guy Sin. You know what I mean? I know off rip they're gonna think I'm taking shots at Sin. And you know what? This really isn't for the sins of the hip hop space, because Sin cannot talk about Drake, right? Sin cannot listen to Drake. Sin can ignore Drake for the rest of his life. Trust me.
Preferably.
I was doing it for years.
It's
Preferably.
easy.
Before the podcast. Shit.
But it seems like there's not many Sins that are even saying this, because the Sins usually don't even care enough about Drake to even broadcast some type of thing like this. You know what I mean? So for me, it's very grifty, very, very kind of like, I don't know. It sends mixed messages when, last week we were talking about a Drake blackout. We were talking about we ain't going to go with Iceman. We ain't going to speak about it. But my entire timeline has been filled with Drake ever since. You know what I mean? What Drake went to family court. We don't know what's going on. Some white guy is, talking about it outside a courthouse. Let's see what's going on. Shit we're going to get into later. Issues about chains. You know what I mean? Last night, a simple comment about everybody's favorite rap journalist, Rob Markman, set the world on fire. They still talking about that today. You know what I'm saying? So it just, to me, it doesn't make sense. And you're sending mixed messages. A lot of y'all, when you say, what is a Drake blackout? Because y'all speak about everything that he does. You know what I mean? It's not, I get what people say. Like, why does Drake do this? Why does Drake do that? You can simply just not pay attention, not talk about it. You know what I mean? The whole, hey, Drake does anything he can to get his name into the, algorithm. Well, if you're speaking about him, you're doing the same thing. So if for me, if you talking about a Drake blackout, you talking about how you don't want to speak on it, but then at the same time, you kind of like your entire timeline is filled with Drake. If I search Aubrey or Drake or the Six in your Twitter name, it's gonna be endless amounts of things that to me, it just, I don't know what message you're trying to send. Though that faction of the hip hop community, you know what I mean? Because like you say, it's being painted because of the battle from last year, because of his antics, because of the courtroom antics specifically. It's being posed as like a battle for hip hop, right? And I don't know if it's that for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Are you trying to save hip hop, or are you trying to bury your op? You feel what I'm saying? That's what it kind of feels like more to me. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we thought he was gonna, go away, but he hasn't. So let's stop talking about it. That's what it reeks of to me. And frankly, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna try not to get any names. Please don't call me out because I don't want to talk any names. But frankly, there are a lot of people who we respect, who have done, in my opinion, I get the courtroom antics is crazy, but in my opinion, more heinous acts than this. And you know what I mean? I get the whataboutism, but it's like there's a long list of people for me that I would want to excommunicate from hip hop before we got to Drake. You know what I mean? So that's my opinions on it. That's my
hold on, real quick.
Like
am I good?
Mace?
Am I?
Yeah, you good?
Now you
good,
wavy,
dog.
Brody.
Am I clipping?
You
Am I?
valid? You valid?
You back? You back?
Immaculate.
They called you Planet Rock, bro. LP was calling you Planet Rock.
Yeah, LP gotta relax, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes this is the first time I ever had some wild connectivity issue. Here go LP jumping on the Shmitas. Like, come on, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that. LP, I've been showing you a lot of love behind the scenes, LP.
A lot of love,
people,
bro.
That's a fact.
To your people in
This is
particular.
facts.
That's a
So
fact.
don't get on this chat violating, bro. I put in a really good reference for LP about a week ago. So, literally.
All good just a week ago.
Yeah, you said tripping, bro. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I'm sorry, y'all, but I don't know what the hell happened. Even my phone started tweaking. Like, I don't know what that was about, bro.
Oh shit!
I don't know.
Silver Surfer coming?
Must be some kind of electromagnetic wave hit my area of Brooklyn.
Shit,
that's crazy.
My fault, Macito. I'm sorry that I missed what you were saying. Just make sure you hit the like button.
It was cooking.
Subscribe option. Hit the notification bell. You were saying that there were certain people that you want to excommunicate, but you know what? That's besides the point.
Right.
Because that's gonna take us. Because you're gonna say something that pisses us all off, and then we're gonna lose the plot.
You know that.
We're gonna lose the plot. Let's stay on.
Macito.
Let's stay on task here. Just can you just catch me up? Give me a quick bullet point on how you feel about the supposed blackout.
Now, my whole point was that, this is being, if we're talking about, the sins of the community, people who already ignore Drake and already don't listen to Drake and already, there's already a blackout in the sincere household of Drake. I understand. No, I understand that. And I respect that. You know what I mean? Because of the way you always live. But for the people who, don't want to talk about the album, but talk about the chain. They talk about the comment about Rob Markman. They talk about, what else they talk? They talking about a courtroom sketch. You know what I mean?
Hold on.
April 2024.
Hold on. You know what's funny? They're doing the things about those things that I said that we should do when the album drops. Yet somehow we're wrong. They kicking his back in for these things, and we just said when the album drops and it doesn't do well or it's not critically good, because we know it's gonna sell a number because he has a lot of fans. But when the album is trash, we want to reserve the right to kick his back in. They're like, oh, the culture. What about the culture? I'm like, bro, is it kicking the back end of a guy who's proven himself to be a POS in the culture a good thing?
I would think so. And ultimately, that's where he wants the compliment is the music, right? I'm of the belief that all of these foolish antics that we make fun of Drake for, he's completely here for it. He's here to be in the algorithm. He doesn't mind being laughed at. So to me, you're just
talk about it, Mace.
That's the problem, though. That's the problem.
Right.
He don't care. I said the same thing on the pod, Mace.
I disagree with that, but I'm gonna let Mr. Sincere cook.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's the problem is that he's gonna lean so far into the shenanigans and the negative promo just because at the end of the day it's still promo and he's still gonna be in the algorithm. You know what I mean? Like him or hate him, he's gonna be in the algorithm, and somehow he's gonna win by losing. You know what I mean? He's gonna lose so hard that he's gonna end up winning anyway. You know what I mean? And that's what I think. A lot of people, including myself, want to sort of push back against or fight against is that idea that when you notice which way people are leaning and you lean into it harder just because the backlash is coming and you're basically rage baiting. You know what I mean? Without really being on Twitter, without really being that present in the social media space, your actions are rage baiting. You know what I mean? Your very existence at this point is one huge rage bait, and that's what we don't like. You know what I mean? Because now it's like, all right, who's the real you? How do you really feel? How would you be living your life if you weren't trolling and rage baiting all the time just to get the press that you want to get, just so you can stay in the algorithm? Like, who are you for real?
You know what?
And ultimately,
hold on. I want to get this out. Pause.
What's the word?
You know what I mean? And I heard what Ghostface said about the pause and all of that. I ain't gonna stop saying pause.
Yeah, man.
We'll get into that.
We cooking on that, Ghost.
You know what I mean? But I disagree with the both of y'all. Me personally, just to show you that the Rap Roundtable is not a hive mind. We all have our independent opinions,
right.
So on and so forth. Right? I disagree with both of y'all. I don't think it's rage baiting. I don't even think it's about being in the algorithm. You know what I mean? He's doing this to be in the algorithm. I think this guy is bothered by all of the negative things that people have said, whether it's his peers or his fans or people like us who are, quote, the culture, so on and so forth. I think he resents it. I think he loathes it. I think he is the most thin-skinned artist in history. And we should not stop talking. We should continue to kick his back in because he's just pretending to not care. He's pretending to feed the beast because he's bothered by it, because his raps always expose just how bothered he is by it. So why should I now stop kicking his back in to give him exactly what I believe he was, which is for us to stop talking about it entirely so he can distract his fans with music and empower his fans with music. Nah, we got to keep stomping this dude out. He is a cockroach, and we need to keep stepping on this MF. That's how I believe. I think all that mindful, he just wants to stay in the algorithm. Drake is a walking algorithm, people. We got to accept that. He is a walking out. There's the algorithm. There's all the code, the matrix code and all of that. Then Drake has his own specific algorithm and matrix code. So he'll never be out of the algorithm. Newsflash, niggas. He will never be out of the algorithm. There is no world that exists where Drake won't be part of some type of a conversation. You know what I'm saying? And I think as long as he's part of the conversation, there needs to be people like me to kick him in the back every time he does some bullshit. Fuck a blackout. No disrespect to the brothers. No disrespect to the brothers who are going to do that. I'm not disrespecting them. I'm not disagreeing with them. I'm saying me personally, I don't subscribe to it because I believe we are supposed to kick his back in as hip-hoppers. Same way niggas was getting thrown off the stage 30, 40 years ago, we supposed to be throwing this nigga off the stage. And if we're not throwing him off the stage and we just staying quiet, we are failing. That's where I'm at with it.
I'm not mad at that.
Right.
You're right. That's three different perspectives. Because listen, my thing is this, right? I can't because I'm a Drake fan, right? So I'm gonna talk about Drake. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna, be searching Drake. I'm gonna be listening to him. For the people that say they don't give a fuck about Drake, that still, you know what I mean? I feel like that's specifically for that faction. And my thing is, and I feel like I'm in the twilight zone because of this. Why black out the music but not the rage bait, son? Like, why the blackout of the music but not black out the rage bait?
I mean,
we're not
when I first came across the idea or the notion of a blackout, I thought in my head it was just going to be a complete blackout. You know what I mean? If that's what you want to do.
Week, Cam.
One voice.
My fault. Send real quick, Cam. You watch every week. Do not put that I agree with the lawsuit in the chat. Y'all watch every week. Y'all know I don't agree with the lawsuit. It don't change from week to week. My opinion about the lawsuit.
So I thought when I heard the idea of a blackout, I was like, all right, so it blackout everything. You know what I mean? Don't talk about him on Twitter. Don't share his shit on Instagram stories. You know what I mean? If he posts another duck face, don't say shit about it. You know what I mean? Just leave the man alone. You know what I mean? Ignore him 100%. Because if you just ignore the music, but you are still gonna post them, the outside the music stuff on Twitter and Instagram, then there's no point. There's literally no point to that.
And we all agree on that there.
Yeah. So when I walked into the studio and I said, part of me agrees with the blackout. I mean, 100% blackout. I mean, let's just I'm exhausted at this point. I have Drake exhaustion, fatigue. You know what I mean?
So even monumental L's. You don't want to discuss any of the monumental L's either.
Is it even? I'm speaking for myself.
Because when he was getting cooked, you were kind of like our hotline to the Drake fuckery.
Was river dancing on his grave a year ago.
Exactly.
But that's what I'm saying. It's been an entire year. Like for me, I've seen everything that I need to see. Is it fun anymore? Really?
Yes.
Because I'm like, if the song drops, goes number one, then it's 23. I don't usually hear that from Mace. Jav may send it, but we know you're gonna send that information. So there's still a small part of you that does love that shit, bro. Like we gonna keep it 100.
He the one who threw the chain to the group.
My nigga, he kept us surprised at everything going on, bro. No funny. Like I didn't all the Drake every L Drake sustained during the last year. Sin has kept us well apprised. That's why I'm like, I don't believe niggas, bro. I think there's still joy in watching someone you hate get his back kicked in. So even if the album flops, it's gonna pain your soul to not talk about it. You know what I'm saying? If the tracks are whack, it's gonna. How did he drop this whack shit? Doesn't he want to earn his way back into him? I honestly think I agree with all of y'all. And I don't agree at the same time. I think the nigga just don't care, bro.
And here's the thing now, boom. Because you know what? It's Dean and you cooking. But and now it gets to a place, and you know what? I'm not trying to be arrogant or overplay our position in this space. There are much larger platforms than us, guys who are more far-reaching. So I want to make sure I put that on the table first, because there's always some hater in the chat that's gonna try, you're not even that big. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, I believe that considering not Macito's not guilty of this. I'm going to push him to the side.
Thank you, sir.
But I believe that an extreme majority of his fan base is so salacious that because of how the media works, whether we like it or not, because of how the media works, if we decide to go silent, we allow his lion-ass fan base to spin narratives that become fact. An unchecked lie becomes the truth. One of the few things I learned from the Math Hopper podcast. So it's like, and we seen it. I got you, sir. And we seen it just last night in the midst of Death Row Chain Gate, which we'll get to later on. One of the leaders of Club Paradise took it upon himself to spin a whole narrative about Glasses Malone as if, you know what I'm saying, he was an anti-Pac guy and he made a Pac song. And the thing is, there's a lot of people who probably don't even know Glasses made that song 6-7 years ago, right? Completely unaware. They just know Glasses Malone, culture guy, right now. So if they see this tweet from Homie from Club Paradise, where, what was the name of the song? Tupac had to die, Tupac must die.
Tupac must die.
Yeah.
So they just come across their desk for the first time, and they saying this Glasses Malone guy who's been pro hip hop, pro Kenny, and they see this song, don't know the context, but read the tweet from Homie from Club Paradise, making it seem as though Glasses was an anti-Tupac guy.
Yeah.
Who shouldn't it be up to us now to jump into the fray and say, no, Drake fan, that's not true. In fact, the song went this way. We can't go silent because niggas is salacious and they will spin narratives that become truth, in my opinion.
This is true.
Yeah, and that's where you know, upon pondering it for a little while longer, like you start to realize that, like in a vacuum, if again, and I speak about this a lot, like, you know, dealing with things as if they were in a vacuum versus dealing with things within the context of real life, right, and everything surrounding it. And I guess, you know, there's still like that idealist in me that you know feels like in a vacuum, if we could just like all agree to just ignore him, maybe for like a week, yeah, a good 7 days of not talking about Aubrey. You know what I mean? And see, just to see what happens. Maybe he loses a little bit of that, you know, that small amount of power that he has left. You know what I mean?
I see that. I can. You know what?
But then, okay. Yeah, you do have the other side that if this side doesn't do its job and do what it has to do in, as you say, kicking his back in, the other side runs rampant. You know what I mean? Unchecked. And that's definitely going to be a problem. So I definitely see what you're saying there, in terms of that.
You know, And you know what's it? Matter of fact, I'm willing to negotiate with the public. Something I rarely do. You know what I'm saying? But I will negotiate with the public. We don't gotta do the full Black Album. What if we wait a week before we talk about the album? Is that something y'all could get with? Or should we just be frontline the album? Especially if the album is trash. You know what I'm saying? Should we just get out in front of it, just panic right away?
Well,
that was my suggestion on 130.
Okay.
True.
But here's the thing. If we stand on business, but everybody else flocks to the album just to get in that reaction, then it's a moot point. We just end up losing.
True.
Nah, I don't think it's always like that. Sometimes niggas got to stand for something. You get what I'm saying? There will be a faction of niggas who stand for something. If the whole thing is to really do the whole blackout, whatever, then do it for the week. If you can't do it for the first week, then you just can't do the fucking blackout, bro. You get what I'm saying? It's really up to the listener. If you feel like you can't do it, then you ahead like that. You know what I'm saying? Then you on that type of time. But don't act like if you really want to do that, you can't do that. We boycott shit all the time, bro, for shit that we don't fuck with. You know what I'm saying?
Don't tell me you don't want to hear about it if you're tweeting about Drake stubbing his toe yesterday. I'm sorry.
Bro, hey, bingo.
I don't respect it.
Bingo.
Like
every L, bro, has been
crazy?
accounted for.
The irony is not lost on me that we're treating Drake like Target right now. You know,
A lot of skews, like your boy said.
Like your boy said. People who boycotted Target. Target lost, a lot of revenue.
A lot of skews.
Your statement now pose the question that needs to be asked. And I'm gonna make this a poll too. Pause. I'm spamming pause today, by the way. Sincere the Rap Snob.
Yeah.
Chat. Rest of the Rap Roundtable. Because Sincere said, I'm not accusing, I'm just saying he gave me this idea to ask this question. Sincere says, we're treating him like Target. Has Drake ended up into a situation where he's become, as they use in a corporate America term, too big to fail? Are we there with Drake?
He's been there.
I think that, May
from number 1 to 23, you're definitely there. I
think that's the position that he's held for a very long time, which is why. Look, I'm gonna say like this: like,
speak your truth, Sam.
There is no way that the shit that we be saying here at the Rap Roundtable, there's not people in the industry that's right up next to him that's not saying the same shit. You know what I mean? And there's wild people. I guarantee you, I bet all my thousands of dollars that there are wild people that have collaborated with him, people that he's close to, that one way or another feel the same way. But he got so big to the point where he was almost too big to fail. Maybe look, we still haven't seen. It's been a year. We're still here. We're good. We getting good music. You know what I mean? But in terms of the charting numbers, we're gonna see what happens. But that is exactly the position that he had. You know what I mean? He became such a huge pop star that represented one way or another for hip hop. For them, not for everybody, not for some of our, but for them, for the rest of society. Drake was repping for hip hop. He became massive, and I know a lot of people looked at him like, oh man, like he's a cornball, he's a goof.
But he's the stimmy.
But he's got the spot right now. You know what I mean? And if we try to knock him down a peg, what's going to happen? And look, there's a lot of people that's on Twitter that's saying, you know what I mean? Ever since Drake got knocked down a peg, ever since the battle, ever since all this UMP stuff, they have not been enjoying hip hop. You know what I mean? And that's the position he had.
What do you think about that, Dini? Drake too big to fail, in your opinion?
I don't think anybody's too big to fail, bro. There's always some category you could walk into to find yourself kicked in the back and end up where he is now. By that standard, it's basically getting defeated in the rap battle, getting drugged through the culture. You get what I'm saying? It's all these things as a pattern. So like but I will always give him this. I just feel like not too big to fail, but there's just such a faction of people that grown with him. You get what I'm saying? That's just, I just don't think they're gonna give it up. Like I still listen to Michael Jackson. If everything went the way it was supposed to go, I wouldn't be listening to Michael Jackson. You get what I'm saying? But I was a diehard fan, so I stuck with it through all the bullshit. I just feel like he has a fan base big enough to stick with him through the bullshit and still kind of do better than the overall majority of artists. I just think we have to. Drake is treating hip hop like a girl that you let go of, but you're trying to get back with, and now she don't want to rock with you the same. Now you just say, oh, you don't want to get back with me. Now it's fuck you. Like I'm going all the way with it. I think that's where he's at now. I think he's always trying to find ways, even with this chain dilemma, even with Pharrell's chain. Like I'm collecting things of the culture, to show I'm a curator of the culture. I'm basically the museum of hip hop. I think he always looked at hip hop like, yo, that's the place I want to be. That's the place where like everyone's when you're respected there, you're respected like everywhere. But I just think he realizes like I'm just not respected there. The way I live my life, the way I go about handling things is not respected there. But it's okay because I still have the people over here, who don't mind lawsuits, who don't mind weird allegations and stuff like that. So I'm gonna still do my thing over here. I don't think he's cooked. I don't think he'll ever be officially cooked. I just think he don't got to be the superstar that he was. And even if he comes down a few pegs, I'm sorry, that's still better than 98% of artists.
Mesito, your thoughts?
Nah,
too big to fail, see or no?
Yeah, he's too big to fail. Like the money behind it. You know what I mean? You gotta
Cash.
know it's too much business, too much money involved. You know what I mean? It's like you look, there was a list that came out the other day of highest selling albums this year. Obviously, Kendrick is number 1, and then Drake's number 2. And then it's like Playboy Cardi, and then 2 Kendrick albums and a Drake album. Like if you're comparing Drake to himself, if you comparing Drake to Kendrick, the number 1 guy right now, then you can kind of convince yourself, yeah, he's failing. But if you look in the large scheme of things, like, no, he's not failing, bro. You know what I mean? And we talking business wise here. That we're not talking music, we're not talking opinion, but you know what I'm saying? Even number two records, you know what I mean? That's the fail. You know what I mean? That's as far as business is concerned.
Number 23 is a fail, bro.
That from one, especially within the course of a week, Mace, that's kind of crazy.
You're not letting you get that off, man.
And you know who holds the record for the highest fall in Billboard history? Kendrick Lamar.
Ooh.
The fall happens sometimes.
I'm sorry, looking at Sin, waiting for Sin to respond.
What was it?
We Cry Together.
6-72. Bro, an album cut, bro. Come on, man.
Mesito,
you comparing an album cut to a single.
Mesito, don't be like that.
I just love seeing Sin get a little angry about this shit. Shout out to you, Mace.
Continue.
At the record or not? I Googled it. The highest record.
Ain't no what about us in Mace.
They say Will Chamberlain stat pattern, or they say he scored 100.
Shit, he scored 100, right?
They'll get lost in the slander, all right?
Here's what I say too before we get off the topic, because I want to talk about this Joey Badass record real quick. And it's in the midst of us talking about this last week, because this long story short, this is our response to people's response to us, or me, more so me, not us, me specifically, saying that I'd rather not partake in the blackout. The first, I learned after the fact that the blackout was specifically for the reactors, not the podcasters. I don't consider the Rap Roundtable to be reactors. This is a podcast. So first and foremost, that shit didn't even apply to us, according to what I was told after the fact. That there was like all of the reactors, especially the people who got caught up in the litigations when Tupac, as y'all call him, I like that name, Tupac. When Tupac was out here putting papers on everybody, it was definitely for the reactors. So that don't even got nothing to do with us. So in that regard, I regret even talking about it, because we're not reactors. We'll do album reactions, and a lot of times people curse us out because our reactions kind of feel like reviews, but that's just kind of what we do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like as history happens and what we've done with this podcast, it is up to us to talk about it. It is up to us to call things exactly what they are in real time, and even down the road, or predict things happening in real time. Because we've done the predictions, we've done the real time reactions, we've done the overviews, and I feel like that has to continue, especially as history continues to be made. But in the midst of that, people kept saying, "Yo, you can't talk about this album because his lawsuit is anti-hip hop, and he's trying to kill hip hop with his lawsuit." And I'm like, whoa, why do y'all think he's gonna win that? You know what I mean? That's where I got a little confused reading some of these comments because it was just like, oh, he's suing hip hop. He's gonna kill hip hop, and when a battle rapper does this, he's gonna be able to sue. And I'm like, did y'all get the lottery numbers too? Who told y'all Drake was winning that? Like, based on all the information that we know about this lawsuit and the things, just general logic, and the amount of money the amount of money that's involved with the people that Drake is suing, what makes y'all think he's winning that lawsuit? That's what I want to know. Y'all doing all of this fear mongering and saying, "Oh, he's against hip hop. He's attacking hip hop. He's going." And one of the comments said he's going to kill hip hop. I had a dude on Twitter say that because Macito missed the show. They wrote and they tagged Jalopy is his name, and there was another Sir Bungus. Am I saying his names right? Because I'm not familiar with these guys. I don't want to mess their names up. Am I right, Nate?
You said it right.
Okay. Homie tagged those two guys and said 2/3 of the rap roundtable agree with the culture. So that means that me personally, Jav, disagrees with the culture about this lawsuit. And I'm like, yo, how did we get here? I disagree with the culture. Drake is gonna kill hip hop. I'm like, he's not winning this case. He's currently not ahead on points. What makes you think that he has the power to do any of this? Now, Macito, you could correct me if I'm wrong. But based on what we heard from what Lucian said in response to Drake's, quote, attack against his company, am I wrong to believe that there's no way Drake is coming out of this victorious?
Lucian's, I can see where you coming from with that. I think that the reason Lucian sound like he's trying to put the blame on somebody else. From the documents to me, it sounds like he's saying, listen, I'm at the top. I'm not dealing with none of this. He needs to sue somebody else. So I'll say this. If he's suing Lucian, I don't think Lucian is doing that. From the documents I've seen,
But here's the thing. I hear what you're saying, Mace.
Oh, shit.
Went out for a second. He probably just clicked out real quick. But
the OVO factions on go time.
Because that's the thing with the lawsuit, right? Who knows? To be honest with you, it's almost you looking at it like
the powers that be that kick you off the stream.
Yo, you heard?
Here's the thing.
Faction.
You know what I'm saying? The reality about this is, and I want people to understand this. This is how the law works. People, there's a lot of good-hearted people on this planet, and I love y'all for that. But how courtrooms work, it's not about facts. It's not about fiction. It's about what you can prove. And what you can prove dictates what the jury does. And sometimes what you can prove gets manipulated by the richest person in the room. Lucian Grange is the richest person in that room. He's the most powerful person in that room. So if y'all think that Drake could pull up some rabbit out of the hat, and the fact that the water is already muddied by the fact that he did the mudslinging first, there's no way he's winning that. You know what I'm saying? The powers that be going to make sure he loses, and Drake shot himself. Drake cheddar-bombed himself when he decided to throw and the thing is, the judge or whoever was mentioned that. You said this first. You said he was a woman beater, and his kid isn't his own. That is the stopping point of any kind of situation that can make this litigation or this lawsuit successful. So the reality is he can't kill hip-hop. The powers that be benefit from hip-hop being competitive. The whole point of him being mad about the situation is that Lucian Grange realized how competitive hip-hop makes real money, and why would he now allow that to go away? Y'all not even really thinking for real. Not Macito, but the rest of y'all not even thinking for real. It's money. Everything comes back down to the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? Am I breaking up? Am I good?
Nah,
you wavy.
Okay. So I need y'all to understand that. The money will talk. And the money talks in competitive rap conversations. These things are going to sort themselves out because history dictates that. A lot of y'all live in la-la land. A lot of y'all pretend like y'all don't know what's going on. Y'all really don't know what's going on. Huh? Did y'all pay attention to last year's election? You know who won? You know who won that election? The person who had the most money. Not him specifically in his pockets, but the money behind him. Huh? Did y'all know that? I don't know if y'all know that. Money talks. And if the money talks and Kendrick Lamar being number one, creating conversation, creating tension, and Drake in this whole situation and the amount of noise that it curates and creates, he's not winning that shit. You know what I'm saying? And the aftermath will be the Iceman album that people are going to run up because people are nosy They're gonna want to know what he says. Huh?
This is true. This
Like
is
I hate
true.
to break it to y'all.
That's
and
why I
here's the
said
thing.
even if we boycotted it for the week, the very next week it'll be sky high again. So
And here's the thing that I want to add is that I don't think Drake is stupid. I don't think he's dumb, but I do think, but I do
not the
think,
best with the tactics.
right. I think he's not as smart as he thinks he is in these type of situations. You know what I mean? In any sort of life endeavor or situation that calls for some type of chess playing, he generally speaking, he does not come out on top. You know what I mean? He came out on top with Meek when he battled Meek. You know what I mean? But Meek, we've seen it. Meek's not a smart guy, so he beat Meek. All right, but when it came to Pusha T, who's tactically smarter than him. When it came to Kendrick, tactically smarter than him. Now this lawsuit, I'm sure there's people, Luchin and his team tactically smarter than him. I just think he gets so drunk off his own success that he thinks that he got all of his success by being intelligent and smart and the smartest person in the room, and he's been able to out chess everybody to the top. You know what I mean? And this is where those conversations happen where how exactly did he get his position? You know what I mean? It wasn't just because he was the best artist or the smartest artist.
He was a cash cow, bro.
He was a stimmy, bro. Yeah.
They put wild money behind him. They put him on all the playlists, and one day now he's the biggest star, and now not so much. He has no idea how to handle it.
Because he's not. Matter of fact, we're not gonna get into that. New Joey Badass. New Joey Badass is out. Shout out to the guys on Twitter. They had a Twitter space about it. Joey Badass new record with our Rhapsody and Absol
solo,
and right on time considering that there's a tour announcement. We're gonna talk about the Pusha T, Clipse, Kendrick Lamar link up pretty soon. Don't go nowhere. Getting it. But we gotta talk about Joey Badass. You know what I mean? Do you need a balance considering this is your guy, Absol?
Yeah.
We're gonna come to you first, and plus we kind of overtalked you in the first segment. Call it what it is. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on this new record, man?
Very happy.
Badass is building some positive momentum.
Very happy. The record's still. Shout out to Solo, great bar. Shout out to Joey. I like this. I think this is what's necessary.
No shout out for Rhapsody.
Shout out to Rhapsody too. Shout out to. I was gonna get there. I was gonna get there in terms of the tour, but what? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I think this is a match made in heaven. I think these three artists exemplify a lot of the same things. They're culturally like feet on the ground culturally. You know what I'm saying? They've been wordsmiths. They've played at the highest level with the bars. So I'm expecting great things out of this. I will be in attendance at the New York show, as I know my brothers will be with me. But I think this is great. I think hip hop needs more of this. I love the fact, and I talked about this a while back when I think we had when we talked about what we like to see more in hip hop, and I was like, I like to see more album collaborations, more producer artist collaborations, and this is the type of shit I was talking about. We got arguably the nicest female lyricist in hip hop right now. If you want to have a great argument, Rhapsody is of that clarity. We see what Joey Badass did this year. Say what you want about him, but that the kid has proven himself even after the album. The albums were great. 99, 2000, shout out. But as far as what he's done with the culture, how he took the West Coast on Dolly, say what you want, he took him on Dolly and smoked. Argue with your mother. You get what I'm saying? Character, like intensity. We hip hop, New York City hip hop. That everything about that is just so New York. Like just coming through, taking the mantle. You know what I'm saying? Saying I'm here, my foot's down. That's just New York culture, bro. Like everything is taken here. You get what I'm saying? Solo, like arguably, not even fucking arguably, my favorite West Coast lyricist. I can honestly say that we're all hands down, hands up, whatever you want to say. Exceptional lyricism. I'm happy about this in my heart and my soul to see New York, the West Coast, and the South on a tour making music together in a beautiful way. My hands are down, bro. The Rap Round Table, Salute to them three. I will be in attendance. Love the record too. Shout out to Rhapsody.
Shout out Rhapsody.
Mm-hmm.
Consider Rap Snob. Your thoughts on the record? You dropped it in the chat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I'll start off with the positive. Like I like. Well, no, I like the record. I definitely like Dark Aura more than this, but this record is also good on its own. Static Selector did his thing on the production. I like the movie production. It wasn't the typical boom bap fare, but it still had obviously naturally he's gonna have the boom bap energy, but it wasn't it wasn't your go-to type of boom bap beat, right? But it set the tone nicely for Joey and Absol to come in. Joey did his thing. I think Absol stole the show on this. You know what I mean?
Solo.
I think Solo really came in with something to prove. I think he goes into a lot of situations with something to prove. You know what I mean? Now the part that I was disappointed by was why include Rhapsody if she's not gonna spit a verse? You know what I mean? The hook was cool. It was a fine hook. It did its job. But I mean, I don't go to a record to hear Rhapsody on a hook. I go to a record if I see Rhapsody is featured and there's two other lyricists on the record. I want to hear Rhapsody go off.
Like
you know what I mean? And so I was a little disappointed with Rhapsody not having a verse on it. I would have liked to see how the chemistry between those three would have been, especially since they're going on tour together. You know what I mean? I would have loved to see, how does, Rhapsody sound alongside Absol and
Joey
Badass. You know what I mean? And then Joey had two verses. Joey had two verses, Absol had one verse, and then they relegated Rhapsody to the hook. I thought that was a little unfair. It should have been 1 and 1. But all in all, it's a good record. It definitely gets the people talking in anticipation of the upcoming tour. And like Deanie pointed out, you know what I mean? New York, LA, North Carolina, the South, you know what I mean? That's an important triangle right there.
Trifecta right there.
I love it. Love to see it.
Mesito, your thoughts?
You guys like this record more than I do. Record is cool. The record is cool. My feelings about the record are meh, to be honest with you. I feel like I have a certain idea of what I want this year to go like for Joey Badass, and this ain't the direction, to be honest with you. I think the persona that he created with the battle, that's more bulletproof than he's ever been. Dark Aura definitely gave me vibes of that along with it. To me, it's a cool record. It's kind of like how I felt about the EP he dropped right after he set off the battle. It's like, it's cool. Joey could do this in his sleep. You know what I'm saying? This could have been a Joey Badass record from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, to be honest with you. I'm not, Joey is cool. You know what I mean? Just like Sin said, Rhapsody, you know what I mean? I'm going to get Rhapsody on the record. She don't rap. Like, doesn't make much sense for me. Soul does what Soul does. You know what I mean? Always at the top level lyricism. Joey, Joey raps. He's rapping on there. You know what I mean? He's doing this thing. But it's the passion, the umph, you know what I mean? The shit that make you feel proud where you from type shit. After the end of this record, you know what I mean? It just seemed like a joint to me, to be honest with you.
Real quick, everybody hit the like button, hit the subscribe option, hit the notification bell. We on the road to 30K. We can only get to 30K by way of you guys hitting the like option, hitting the subscribe option specifically, and hitting the notification bell. 500 likes in each and every video. Make sure you tap into that. Episode 130 is out right now. There's a person named Adane in the chat who's very angry with me. I don't know what I could tell that people come into the chat at the wrong times and they're not paying attention to the conversation. He
Quite
says
angry.
Alabama fight together. New York been kissing Drake ass. That's why the West is winning. New York is done. New York are the new coons. Is sad.
Who are the old coons?
Wow.
I don't understand. I don't even know where this comment comes from. Like, I don't even know.
Disgruntled.
I don't even know where this came from. Right? Like, I just said New York guy here, and I said, yo, I want to be reserved the right to kick Drake's back in when I see fit. I don't even. I would say, but basically from the outside looking in, this is not a Drake podcast. Like most Club Paradise people would probably, if not already, they hate us. Matter of fact, Club Paradise does hate us. We're not a Drake platform. And again, I'm gonna say it because someone needs to say it. We're not anti-aging because everybody here is old or approaching old. You know what I mean?
Old heads.
The people who are popular on New York media right now, they don't speak for the city, man. If you see Funkmaster Flex who's pushing 60, Killer Cam and Mace who pushing 50, Capo who's pushing 50, and whoever I can't remember right now, and you see because they have a platform and they say certain things that somehow these old guys represent what New York is talking about, you know, I'm gonna keep repeating it. They don't represent the city. I want to break some news again. News flash, nigga. Again, Young New York, specifically Young New York, does not give a fuck about Kendrick versus Drake. They don't care about man one of them. They more plugged into whatever's happening with their feet underneath them with this drill shit than they have any Kendrick or Drake. If you 18 and below in New York, they don't care. I hate to break that to you. Kendrick versus Drake is an old head conversation. It's just that there's no old head in position like those guys are. But then to be fair, you have the Rob Markmans of the world. You have homie that used to work for Rockefeller. What's his name, Macito?
Wayno.
Wayno.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Those guys, so on and so forth. They have a voice and they do what's necessary. But if you feel like the entire city is somehow, some way, whatever, you're not in the towns, bro. You don't know what's going on. And I keep trying to report to you guys that they don't give a shit. Matter of fact, the 25-year-olds don't give a shit. They locked into the drill shit too, guys. 25 and up, you might. But New York don't care. New York got their own shit to worry about. There's so much shit happening within the 5 boroughs that they just don't care. But anyway, to this song right here, I'm going to come to the rap snob because I want clearance from him on my opinion. This song feels like it shouldn't have been put out. It feels like an album cut to me. You know? It is. I know outside of the promo for the tour that's coming up, that makes sense to have some music with their names attached to it. But to me, the song is tough. Great lyricism across the board. Shout out Absol. I agree. Absol was the shining star. I think it was a misuse. Of Rhapsody. You don't get Rhapsody on a song with lyricists to have her do a hook. Now, I like the fact that she's getting her little vocal on, showing that she could get in her Lauren bag if you need her to, for sure.
Yeah.
Dexterity and versatility is a key, right? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you don't put her on a song with these guys and relegate her to the hook. But this song doesn't sound special. It doesn't sound... You know how I talked about a couple weeks ago how the intro to the Clipse album started to get radio spins, but that song has a certain grandiose vibe about it to where it belongs on the radio. This feels like a strong album cut that might hit better in the midst of the album, but as to just put it out, it kind of confuses me as to what this Joey Badass album is even going to be about. Good song, but considering, to Mason's point, I agree. I feel like coming off the momentum you had with the battle, you had some label issues. Now your singles are starting to roll out. And I can see why the label said, nah, don't put this album out. Because everything you put out so far sound like fall and winter music. This don't sound like no summer music.
So definitely winter music.
Am I tripping? I feel like this is an album cut.
It's definitely an album cut. You know, and it might have been like, it kind of feels like one of those situations where it's like, all right, we just announced this tour. Let's throw something out there. You know what I mean? Let's find something in the files, you know, that we can have out there just to get the people talking. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like they got in the studio and was like, yo, let's make a single. It sounds like this was a song that just happened. Just kind of like they recorded it. They were in the studio together, or like they were like, or maybe Joey and Absol already had this record, and they were
just
like,
how to get on the hook.
oh, we're all going on tour together. Let's send it to Rhapsody and see if she gets on the hook, and then put that out there. It definitely has that kind of vibe to it. I don't think I'm not going to take anything away from it, expecting it to be like, like a mind-blowing single or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely does have the vibe of like something that was just kind of, put together, and they were like, let's throw it out there, see what happens.
Plus, certain songs have better sounds in the context of listening to the album. Like we'll talk about that later too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to make it clear. I don't want the message to get misconstrued. I don't think anybody here dislikes the music or dislikes the song in particular, but it just feels like I would have rather been pleasantly surprised hearing this in the midst of the album than you giving it a platform. That's just how I look at it. Especially if you're not using rap. If you tell a rap to be a point guard when she a bucket getter, then I gotta, you know what I mean? I'm a little disappointed, But let's move on. Clipse in LA. We won't spend too much time on this because we weren't there, but it was a great moment. Yeah. Clipse in LA. To me, this just shows the impact of Kendrick Lamar. There was so much talk on the internet about it felt like wrestling. Will Kendrick Lamar show up for the LA show? It kind of reminded me of when The Rock was fighting the corporation. It was like, will Stone Cold show up for The Rock tonight? There was so much talk about Kendrick Lamar showing up for this LA show. None of the people that you would expect to talk about it were tipping their hand. Low-Key didn't tip his hand. Dre didn't tip his hand. No one really tipped their hand. We're going to talk about K-Vision. We're going to talk about Supreme Clientele later on in the pod, yes. But it was great to see him get on the stage, and I feel like that moment, Sincere, was missing where like the surprise appearance on the stage, the crowd popping for that surprise appearance, Kenny performing the verse. Just to me, I don't want to say validating, but in a lot of ways validating the feature because there were a lot of people were he and ha and that Kendrick wasn't in the video.
Right.
But for him to pop out for this show, bro, I felt like this was a great hip hop moment. What were your thoughts, man?
Like 100%, 110% love to see it. I don't want to be that guy that's like, yo, real hip hop is back. But nah, man, real hip hop
like.
back.
Talk
man.
about
real
it, man.
Is fucking back, bro.
Talk about it.
Like these, look, dude, you got Kendrick Lamar, the biggest rapper in the world right now. You got the Clipse, who just reunited after 15 years and dropped like an immaculate album, still far and away the #1 contender for album of the year. It looks like come Grammy time, not that we hope put so much weight on the Grammys, but come Grammy time, it's going to be between GNX and Let God Sort Them Out. That's got to be like the 1-2 punch of rap albums of the year. You know what I mean? And so we already had the record. Us as fans of both of these guys, of Kendrick and the Clipse, I was a little bit disappointed that Kendrick did not make an appearance in the video, and so like you were saying, there was a lot of hype, a lot of talk, a lot of anticipation. Will he? Won't he? And then all of a sudden, like that, and the way that they like played the part. Played the moment up perfectly. You know what I mean? Like the lights went out for like a split second, and then it got wild dark, and then different lights came back on, and Kendrick was coming out of the shadows in the back, like the boogeyman that he is. Like the whole thing was just set up so immaculately. You know what I mean? He fumbled the verse a little bit, but that's all right because this is at least a 2-year-old record that he's never performed. He recorded this verse long ago. You know what I mean? But all in all, like an amazing moment. We got we got Lawbury or Supac, I guess is his new name. We got him up Office Square. You got Clipse. You got Kendrick Lamar in LA creating a moment like this. Love to see it, man. Real hip hop. Real hip hop is that.
J. Coop saying Dini Mesito looks pretty sad. Mesito, are you sad about you muted gang? Are you sad about this, bro?
Bro been saying that all show. I'm like, is he a body language expert, my nigga? Have you ever thought maybe that my parlay busted, my nigga? Relax.
The interpreter.
Hard, my nigga. Pay attention to the nigga that's talking, okay?
You said don't watch me, watch TV.
You feel me? You feel me? But for me, this adds more than anything. This adds to the lore of this Clipse situation. We know, the legendary rollout. I seen somebody today say that he felt Ghostface had a better rollout. I guess that's the thing that fans do now. My guy had a better rollout. The stands
better rollout than who?
It's an old head, a very old head with a crinkly Yankee hat. Okay,
that guy.
Damn it.
Hashtag that guy. But for me, that adds to the lore of the Clipse album more, right? We had the legendary rollout. We've had the verse leaks. You know what I mean? That's dope shit too. You know what I mean? I almost think that was planted at this point. But on some fly shit, we've had the interviews, we've had the magazine covers, we've had the album drop, we've had beat switches. You know what I mean? Like the whole this feels like a album from back in the day, not only in the quality, but just of all the shit you could talk about it, right? All Eyes on Me is not only classic because it's a classic, but do you remember that House of Blues show with him and Snoop wilding out, you know what I mean, going crazy? You know what I mean? Hard Knock Life is one thing, but the Hard Knock Life tour took it to another level. Like, to me, that's where I'm feeling this. So now we got the legendary show, right? The Kendrick pop-out show in LA. Who knows what's going to happen when they get to New York? Who knows what's going to happen when they get to VA? Who knows what's going to happen when they get to Canada? So for me, and Kendrick with GNX, that's another classic album that has classic show moments along with it. But that's why I'm feeling about it, right? Like the Clipse, you can tell like that they've been around long enough to know every ingredient that goes into the dinner. You know what I mean? Like, because they've done everything exactly the way you're supposed to. So for me, I'm like, all right, now we here. We got the Kendrick LA show. That's just, you know what I mean? This album is carrying more than just the music, right? And that's something that I'm like, I'm hyped for. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo, listen, I appreciated that moment 1000%. You know, I think they did something similar with Stove God Cooks. I like the fact that the Clipse have a good idea of how to put a show together, how to create moments within a show. You know, we're not doing no stadium tour. And I think sometimes smaller venues creates better impact than the large venues because it's smaller in scale. The volume of the crowd response, the energy, the fact that the crowd, a lot of times they're right on top of you. To me, that feels more hip hop than in some cases stadium shows. Again, I don't want this to get lost. We love stadium shows. That shows you that Kendrick as a point. It shows you the scale of his impact. But those small venues, like, there's a reason why niggas talk about the tunnel the way they talk about the tunnel. You know what I mean? Because you got a great idea of what was what via the tunnel. And I think with these smaller venues, you're getting that aesthetic from Clipse to where they're creating life. Like, everyone who was in that attendance for that show, they're going to remember that for the rest of their lives. They pulled up hoping Kenny would show up. And then that man pulled up there, and he ain't act Hollywood. He was in the midst of it, performed the verse, showed love to the performer, said, I'm going to be in the crowd amongst y'all. We need to get back to that. Like Sis said, hip-hop is back. We need to get back to more of that. Like, at some point, rap just became too much about who's the richest, who can do the most. Sometimes those smaller venues with your real fans bringing raw energy, surprise appearances, hard raps on hard beats, not some commercialized shit. Sometimes you need those moments. It wasn't like they came through dancing with suits on. It was a rapidy rap song.
Yeah.
And people got hyped for a verse being performed. That was one of the hardest verses on the album. And I feel like we need more of that. And I guess not. And I hate to do this to Joey because I'm Team Joey in this whole situation. I'm not a fake. I'm not a fake friend like you know who. You know what I mean? Because Joey brought me around. As I said, he wasn't a pay-per-view fighter. He's still not the number one A side of the fight game, but he can get on pay-per-view now. I'll buy his fights. He proved that I gotta buy his fights. Fair is fair. But I'm a friend of Joey's now. But I feel like Joey don't have. He needs to put a song out with like to me that just I feel like he's gonna make just based on what we've heard. It's time this album is gonna be a very quote emotional album. It's gonna be very introspective, but I don't know if it's gonna have that raw feeling. Right. I need some big drums. I need some big instruments.
Grandiose.
I need something. I need hard, monstrous raps. Yeah. And that's what the thing is. The Clipse didn't go commercial on this album. They gave you hard beat after hard beat, have the odd beat pause with aggressive raps. Even the rich raps are hard raps. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And I'm looking at Joey and I'm like, if you need an example of what we're looking for, what the people need right now in their veins, it's more of that. Come out with that. And we'll be on deck. Shout out Kenny. Shout out the culture. Shout out LA for having that moment. Yeah. I look forward to the day when New York can replicate a moment like that. Street saying Hove gonna drop. I hate that it has to be Hove again. I hate that it has to be Nas again to give us that feeling. Not because I don't want them to succeed, but because there needs to be someone else. God damn it. You know what I mean? But you know, if when they do drop, you know, I'm putting it out there. I'm speaking into existence. Can we get another Hove and Nas feat? I think right now the world would break if we could get another Hove and Nas feat.
I think that's definitely in the
works. Just the way the internet been interneting for the last year.
On
a Hove and Nas song right now would explode the internet.
Yeah, Hove. No, I was about to say, what you think would be more grandiose though? Wouldn't it be more grandiose on a Hove album featuring Nas as opposed to a Nas album featuring Hove? Because we just want to hear a Hove album.
Hove.
We know Nas is still crazy.
Hold on, Dini. Hove, Nas on a primo beat, even if it's kind of mid, but that moment, you know what that moment means?
I'm just saying. Listen, I was with you.
I'm with you.
I should be with you on this, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I do the fantasy booking later. I got an idea too. I'm not gonna be lying to you, but we do the fantasy booking later. We'll say that for in studio because I got some ideas too.
But I want to say this though, real quick.
You know what? Go ahead, Deep.
As a person that goes to shows, you know, I think all of you mentioned it in some form or fashion. I think you mentioned the being there as a fan. Sin mentioned something too that I'm lost in track of, and it may said something about the lore. And I think it's like everything that you guys said in combination. Like if you're just imagine being at that show, you know what I'm saying? You're just at a Clipse show, you're enjoying yourself, and you're just catching a great vibe, and you feel like Kendrick may appear. You get what I'm saying? And like Sin, that's what you said, Sin. When you mentioned, because I noticed that too, when the lights cut off.
Yeah.
And then it's that little part that Pharrell does, no, when they say, when the name's down talking to you. So you got that little gap in between time for Kendrick to get on the stage. And then it got smoky. And then other lights kicked on. And then Kendrick ad just came out just rapping. I'm not the vibe, but it just, the crowd went crazy, first of all. And I felt that as a nigga that goes to shows, like the energy, the people that you don't even know that's next to you, like y'all sharing a moment, bro. Like
y'all best friends now.
It's really crazy shit. Like people don't go to shows a lot, so I don't think they understand what I'm talking about. But for the niggas that go to shows and you there in the midst of those people enjoying the show the way you enjoying it, y'all talking, y'all rapping the lyrics, y'all just it's almost like in sync. You get what I'm saying? But you got Kendrick's two greatest enemies. You know what I'm saying? You got the guy of the hour. You know, you got the maybe the most prolific comeback of a duo we've ever seen. You get what I'm saying? It was just so much grandiose, amazing, immaculate shit happened on the stage,
it's
bro.
Like Dini saying we need a posse cut with all these
my nigga, like
that's what it sound like I'm hearing.
You didn't. I'm talking about just the visuals alone had me like we need a posse cut, but listening to the music too, we definitely need a posse cut. I mean, the video cut off that I watched, but I would have loved to see them do a little palm olive before the shit cut off. I would have loved that.
The guy who could get them on a song together went crazy, Dini.
This is true.
Yeah.
Maybe Sim can talk to him.
Maybe Hit Boy might be the new glue guy.
I mean, if you was to say that Hove Nas shit and Hit Boy, I would, and I hate that I feel like that right where I'm like, yo, Hit Boy now over Primo, but it just in terms of 2025, I gotta go with the times, bro. Like,
no, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
I just feel I'm just talking about as
culture,
far as,
history.
Like, historically speaking, there is not. I don't think there is one song in history produced by Primo with only Nas and Jay-Z verses.
Oh,
If Mass Appeal
oh
is
my
fully
God.
entrenched with this era of old becoming new again,
Revitalizing.
oh, we need it.
Yeah,
Even
man.
if the beat is whack, we need it. That's where I'm at with it.
Please don't let the beat be whack. But yeah, he's right. We need
I don't want.
it. Please. Please.
I'm not gonna be disrespectful. Yeah.
Oh man, Sin, what are your thoughts on that before we go to the next topic?
On what? Not Nas and Ho?
Nas a whole produced by Primo.
Produced by Primo. I would love to see it.
Okay,
I would. Listen, I'm out of all of us, I'm the one that's most Team Primo still.
Yeah. You like that?
You know what I mean? So like, I think. Here's my thing. I know Jay passed on Primo like early. You know what I mean? Like, and I remember, I feel like I remember a long time ago reading something where Jay said like, I found a new Primo in Just Blaze or something like that. You know what I mean? So for Jay to go back to Primo now, that would be, I feel like that would be quite the event. That would be quite the event. But I mean, stranger things have happened. You know what I mean? If we get this Nas and Primo album and all of a sudden Hov sneaks in a feature verse,
that would be crazy.
That would break the internet, man.
That would be crazy.
Player. Thank you.
There it is.
Alchemist. It needs to be Alchemist. Bro.
That would. Oh,
That's it.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, Alk's still showing up. We heard that. We heard that Alfredo. That Alfredo was.
I'd rather Hit Boy before Alk right now.
Well,
if
look.
You want Primo, you want it for the look more than what you want.
What you want the sound? That's a fact.
No. I think if it's gonna be Alchemist for those two, for Nas and Jay, it would have to be old Alchemist. He would have to
be old Primo.
He would have to go back to no.
That old
what I'm saying, I'm not saying in terms of the quality. I'm saying in terms of the approach to the beat making and the record. You know what I mean? Alchemist today is more focused on artists like Rock Marcy, Freddie Gibbs, you know what I mean, Arm & Hammer. These are, a little bit more, they're more in that drumless bag. They're a little bit more in that sort of more new wave of the boom bap era where it's not as much boom bap because it's not as much drums. You know what I mean? But, the Conways, the Griseldas, all that. If it were going to be Alchemist for Nas and Jay, for either one of them, especially for both of them, like he would have to dig back into, those old folders where he might have had like a We Gonna Make It, or he might have had Wet Wipes, or he might have had Keep It Thorough. You know what I mean? He's going to have to come up with one of those, early to mid 2000 beats for those guys. I don't think. I honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't hear Nas over the modern Alchemist production. I just don't think it's his bag, and I definitely don't hear Jay on it either.
Well, we've heard Primo's latest offering, so
And again, not because it's bad. I love modern.
I'm listening, Sam. I'm listening.
I love modern Alchemist. Like this new era that and this reinvention of himself. I love it for the artists that he works with. You know what I mean? But if he's gonna go back to those guys, you might have to, revert and
dig into the bag.
And you know what? Before we go to the next topic, I just want to, pat ourselves on the back because again, to me, in my opinion, right now, we the only podcast on the planet that can give you the Drake talk. Then we could veer into super boom bappery immediately afterwards. We could give you Drake versus Kendrick, then go full boom bap just like that. I want you to point out the podcast who could do what we do. So when y'all complain about us talking about Drake and Kendrick, y'all can make sure that y'all watch the whole shit. Don't get gassed by the fucking thumbnail. Because in the midst of that packaging, we giving you purple tapes. Every episode is a purple tape, damn near. We talking about the popular shit. We talk about the underground. We talk about the bars. We talk about it all. I dare y'all to point on a podcast that do what we do. You know what I mean? That's why I get mad when y'all complain, because y'all really not, the people who complain are really not watching. Anyway, back to some Drake talk. You know what I mean? We got to talk about this death row chain. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe option. Hit the notification bell. Shout out everybody giving us a super chat. I know what we do final segment is dedicated to the super chats. You know what I mean? I had to talk my shit real quick because a lot of people got the rap roundtable confused. But we are the culture podcast. When y'all challenge shit about culture and what we not, what we are, what we not, y'all not really watching our podcast. We the most rapidy rap podcast in the space, bar none. You know what I mean? But this guy, Macito, goes out there, buys the chain. I go to sleep and I wake up, and upon waking up, I hear that this chain is not even the actual chain; it's a fake chain. And it's just, and then you have guys like Glasses Malone having to defend themselves with the from attacks from his bogus fan base. Like what's up with your man? What he think he Thanos? First he got the Pharrell chain, now he got the Tupac chain. What he think if he snapped Kendrick gonna
Tupac
disappear?
ring.
What's going on?
It's the Tupac ring, right? The Tupac ring too. Don't forget that. Listen, I'm amused by it. I'm gonna be honest. You know, like the as far as the actual action of it, like that whole celebrity, I'm gonna buy up their memorabilia thing is weird to me in general. You know what I mean? So it's not even like, you know, a lot of people are like, Drake is weird for doing this. I think that whole thing is weird. You know what I mean? I'm gonna buy Marilyn Monroe's dress that she wore the day before she died type shit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna buy, you know, the car Biggie got shot in. I think that whole shit is weird to me, for the record. So so that part of it, if you're like, yo, weirdo shit, I understand that, you know, cause that's weird to me. But the whole outrage about it is like, I'm like, yo, Drake got to be the best heel in wrestling that we've ever had, bro. Because you know what I mean? Like,
at the drop of a dime.
Listen, all he did was post the Pac pic and the Death Row shit, right? Now, as a Pac fan, I know there's never been no Tupac chain that had All Eyes on You like that. I've never seen that All Eyes on You like with the engraving behind it. I'm like, as a nigga who's a Pac, like, you know what I mean? I'm like one of those Pac. You know, I'm a Pac stan, so I know. Like, so I was like, when I first seen that before the news even came out, when I seen that, I'm like, I've never seen that with Pac ever, bro. I wasn't looking at the shoulder of the chain and the rhinestones in the middle of the shit. I wasn't looking at all that. Just that part, I was like, nah, it's no good.
Yeah.
So it's like, but my whole thing is like, if it was Pac's chain, right? Were you happy with the other white guy who had it before him? Like, that's my thing. Like, are you matter about Drake buying this or this shit? You know what I mean? It's viable. You know what I mean? It's not like he's you know, taking money or doing it from the people. These are already items that the estates of these people, or if they're alive, themselves have given to auction. He's like an auction. He's going up to an auction and buying shit. You know what I mean? He's like a fan. You know what I mean? He's a fucking fan. You know what I'm saying?
You don't think there's no symbolism behind it though, Mace?
Well, the chain was bought like 2 years ago. So the symbolism maybe of exposing in the news right now, maybe that symbolism means something. But it was bought like in 2023, like for all the dogs' time. So it's not like he was thinking, you know, I got Kenny now. We got the Pac chain. You know what I'm saying? You know, he just exposed it right now. So I'm like, this is part of that blackout shit, right? How are you gonna tell me that you can black out if you can't even? This guy's put up an IG post trolling about a chain, and there was complete outrage about it, bro. There's just like Joel said, there's hours-long Twitter spaces about it. There's like complete, you know, discussion and people writing going past their tweet limit with the character. I mean, like, if you feel a way about it, it ain't worth more than like 3 words, bro. Like, fuck is he doing? You know what I mean?
Lame ass shit. That'd be enough.
You know what I mean? So to me, I'm like, y'all letting, like Sensei, y'all letting boy rage bait the fuck out of y'all.
Facts.
Sin ready. Go ahead, Sin. Yeah, I gotta hear you, bro.
So you might be surprised. But I'm gonna shoot Drake a little bit of bail here, just a little bit, not too much, because this shit is still whack to me. It's still late, but just knowing who he is, knowing his upbringing, knowing how he got in the game, knowing, and we've talked about this recently too, where like he came into the game sort of half as an artist, but also half as just a fan. You know what I mean? He's a fanboy. He fanboys over like a lot of artists. And so to that end, being the fanboy that he is and as rich as he is, and he comes across a Tupac Death Row pendant, of course he's gonna buy the shit. You know what I mean? Like the kind of corny fan that he is. So I'm not entirely shocked by it. Like, you know what I mean? I threw in the group chat because again, I know like it's all over Twitter, it's all over like the timelines and everything. So I was like, let me just throw it in the group chat. We have a live coming up today. You know what I mean? It'll probably be one of the things we want to talk about. But it's I don't know. I want to throw him some bail in the sense that like he's a fan. I know he's a fan, just like Kendrick said. And so yeah, what he spends his money on, that's his business. But there is still also that feeling of like
culture vulturing.
Yeah, just like kind of Columbusing, kind of like gentrifying, kind of like collecting cultural memorabilia just to make up for the amount of culture that he's lacking. You know what I mean? And so there is that part of it. But it's I'm more upset with the fact that like he's got another fucking podcast coming out with
Bobby whatever
Bobby Alton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like
from the dead, because I thought she
was cool too, bro.
I'm like,
you know what I mean? They're helping out each other. They're both dead in the water.
Like a crack
you know what I
addict.
mean? Maybe they can both revive their respective careers right now. But again, it definitely gives me a little bit of Martin Shkreli vibes.
Yo,
a little bit
with that Wu-Tang album.
But at the end of the day, the transgression is not as deep as a lot of people might make it out to be, especially if it's fake. So, like, if it's fake, like, who cares? You know what I mean? Another L for Drake. Move on.
It's really just corny. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like if you collect, memorabilia, like you said, he's a fan. It's just corny because I don't want to do the whataboutism, but if Kendrick copied everybody and it was authentic, we all would have saluted. Like, yo, it's in rightful hands. You know what I'm saying? It's in the place it needs to be. I just think like he's gone against the culture in so many ways. He's deviated from the culture, bro. So people don't even want to see cultural shit in a nigga possession. I just think when we talked about the too big to fail shit, maybe not musically, you know what I'm saying? But with cultural shit, where niggas who appreciate the culture, like, yo, what the fuck is he doing with a Tupac necklace? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is he doing with a Pharrell chain? Like, obviously he has the money to purchase these things if he wants them. He can buy them. We can't walk up to the auction and say, no Drake sales for you. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of like it just don't feel right with him. You get what I'm saying? I just think when you excommunicate yourself that much from the culture, to see you doing shit involved in culture just kind of feels weird. And that's why I say it just comes off as corny.
And then that's just weird because it was with another white guy, right?
That's true. That's true. But if we knew him and we knew he was corny too, we might have felt the way about it, right or wrong. I didn't know who the white guy was.
But this is where I gotta push back against Macito, because I'm gonna wear my sincere hat. Because to me, you did the whataboutism, or what about the other guy who owned the chain first? We don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it coming out now? Why is the other guy who owned it even a talking point? Like, in the midst of this lawsuit shit and all of that, and we know that Drake is a subliminal character. He's big on quote symbolism, and essentially his whole rollout has been, I know something that you guys don't know, and Kendrick and company or Lucian and company are liars. So to me, dropping this whole Tupac chain, trying to cosplay Canadian Pac, Supac. There's another name I saw in the chat that I won't say because I don't want to get demonetized. So on and so forth. Right, you saw it. You know what I mean? So on and so forth. This whole me against the world cosplay, to me, he just full of shit. To me, he just constantly empowering his fan base, whom he knows are not really heads, whom he knows are just pop culture junkies that don't know what the F going on. Not you, Mesito, but the loud majority of these people. You know what I'm saying? I got to make sure I want to insult you because you're going to start talking about Hov and we're going to get to arguing. I'm not talking about you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I just feel like everything he does just solidifies how full of shit he is. And then we go back to the Glasses Malone of it all, to where he's pulling this stunt and it allows his bozo fans to try to play aha, gotcha, with one of his loudest detractors in Glasses Malone. So where it's like he got to now spend time talking about this shit. And I was like, you know what? Instead of him talking about it on Twitter, why don't he talk about it on the Rap Round table? We got Glasses.
G Malone, what up, baby?
In the building real quick.
Whose music is
And
that?
it's like, and I personally felt the way
What's
that
goody?
Club Paradise could try to weaponize a song that came out 6 years ago to play gotcha with a guy who's been a staunch culture guy, a staunch region guy, a staunch hip hop head. So, Glasses, man, I just wanted to know from your perspective, like, how did you handle the situation looking at these Drake fans trying to say you should be the last one talking about what Drake is doing with a Death Row chain?
I mean, it makes perfect sense when you think about it. It's just a lack of understanding. You know, they saw the title and just like everything else, they don't go deeper into anything. People see Good Kid, Mad City, like, oh, Kendrick's a good kid. It's like they ain't listened to one of the songs where he's pretty much talking about all of the silly shit he was getting himself into. So, I mean, I guess when you once people see that title, which is weird to me because I would think you would think of a play or something, you know. Tupac Must Die doesn't sound like a derogatory thing. Like, I understand Tupac and die is in the same thing, but the must part of it very makes you you would think of something poetic. So I would imagine you would think it's more of a story there, but whatever it takes for him to get going, I guess.
Yeah, man, because I saw that situation. I'm just like, this is a situation where we got in some trouble last week because we said that as much as we understand where people are coming from with the blackout of Iceman whenever it drops, we felt like staying quiet about this guy is kind of dangerous because people are going to try to create narratives around this kid and trying to change the conversation. So I wanted to know from your perspective, like, where are you at with the potential Drake media blackout whenever that album drops? I think it's dangerous to be quiet when you got a guy like him who could spin a narrative out of left field. What do you say to that?
I didn't know about it. I mean, I never heard about it. I don't really, it don't take all of that, man. Like, I think that's something that they could have made up. I don't know who the fuck would be sitting around talking about what they not going to listen to. Like, it ain't like, I don't know. I don't really know that program. You know what I mean? Like, if he makes something interesting, I'll listen to it. If it ain't interesting, then I won't. Like, he get the same thing anybody else that make rap songs get, an opportunity to gain my attention.
Shit. See, this is why I need to talk to Glass. That's what I was saying. I feel like in the midst of this conversation, whether positive or negatively, history is going to be made. And it's up to us to make sure that history gets documented accurately.
And that's kind of what real hip hop is all about, the temperament of the times. You know what I'm saying? Like Chuck D said it best, the ghetto CNN. You know what I mean? And everybody wants it to be actual CNN. And I'm like, that's not what it is, bro. CNN exists. So you don't need CNN in rap songs. It's the ghetto CNN because we don't have anybody to share our temperaments. Nobody would have known how politically savvy people in the streets was if you didn't hear about Public Enemy. You know what I mean? It's so many, how great of a job hip hop has done documenting where we were at that time is people that come from that street urban culture. Like, you can get where we were at, even if it's somewhere you're not proud of, like you can go to the earliest Houston raps and see how the lean that's now a national epidemic became something that was already around. You could hear it. So it's whether you're proud of something, whether you're not, you could see where the culture was at times. And so, like, that's always the goal to me, is to preserve that. Like, we need to keep having spaces for ghetto reporters. We don't need, what's homie name? Bryant. Don Lemon. Like, yeah, if Don Lemon make a rap album, bro, we don't need that. Don Lemon has a platform on CNN. We don't need a Don Lemon rap album. And I'm tired of these niggas trying to push Don Lemon into rap. It's like, bro, that's not, he don't need rap. Like, he don't need it. You don't need hip hop.
Right. Shit, that part right there. Then another thing I wanted to talk to you about it as far as I saw last week, you got a little frustrated with the city And I just wanted to say, on behalf of my guys, says New Yorkers, the city of New York does not subscribe to the things that you were frustrated about, as far as what those voices who have prominence, they got history in the league, of course. But I feel like
Oh no,
those
you
guys,
talking about the shit with them niggas
Yeah.
them niggas is Hall of Famers.
right? But I feel like they kind of harming us because people don't know that within the 5 boroughs, a lot of what they talk about on their platforms is not what the city is talking about. So I just wanted to let you know, like New York, a lot of us don't subscribe to what they talking about.
I'm here with niggas on the corner saying, I mean, don't get me wrong, but it matters what the Hall of Famers is saying. Cam's a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? Norby's a Hall of Famer. Maybe not first ballot, but he's a fucking Hall of Famer. There. Joe is a Hall of Famer. I mean, these niggas is Hall of Famers. So if they not calling the culture straight, like if they like, oh, well, you know what? Long as he's suing the label. Bro, I don't give a fuck what he's suing over that song. If he's suing the label, cool. Because if they owe him some money, get your paper. If you want to get out your contract, cool. But once you put another street reporter's art, at the center of it, that's a problem. And them niggas, to me, he hears what I'm saying. I know he hear what I'm saying, but he could kind of make me just out to this little dumb street nigga. You know what I mean? No matter what I present creatively, because I don't have 1,000 platinum plaques. But their words would matter. If they were saying, hey, I love you to death, homie, publicly, and saying that lawsuit is wrong, he would have to reconsider, because no matter what, or at that point, you could actually see how obvious it is that he not fucking with this. But without them kind of, like having that Hall of Fame conversation about, all of these guys who truly competed before, especially all of them. Joe competed, Norby competed, you feel me? Jada competed, you know what I mean? Like Joe Buttons, all of these niggas have competed and really centered themselves in the culture with these competitions. Imagine, like at this point, should Ja Rule come back and sue 50? Like Ja Rule has to be sitting by like, hold on, y'all not tripping? Like imagine his lawsuit to UMG. People actually really feel like UMG fucked his career up. Benzino could be like, oh man, this is what we doing. This is good. Like the ramifications going forward, even every time it lasts, who knows how the label feel? Like who knows how John Janik or the Boys at Republic or UMG feels? Like what's to say they not gonna start scrubbing words, choosing which words get scrubbed? Like it becomes a problem. And for the Hall of Famers, the niggas who jerseys in the rafter, niggas who, really defined this shit at a specific time in life, not to speak against it. You don't got to speak. I don't speak against Cuz. I'm not calling for his death or people to not buy his records. I'm like, hey, homie, stop doing buster shit. Like, that's it. Stop doing uncultured shit.
That's what we say. You know what I mean?
That's what it is.
Now, we appreciate that, Glasses. I just needed a couple of minutes of your time, because when I seen Son retweet that and try to say, aha, you made this song, you bugging. Like, I'm like, this guy did not listen to this song. There's no way.
He's like, oh, you said that. Nigga Suge like my song. Like it's people who know, bro. It's people who know him that get what's happening. I get it. It's tender, bro, but this is what it is.
Glasses, we appreciate you giving us a couple minutes of your time.
Salute,
we're gonna do the long form link up again pretty soon.
I got that song dropping tomorrow with Jurassic 5. Want it.
Say that.
Want it. Glasses Malone, Jurassic 5. And what's funny is what inspired this song is something that I don't know why it's slipping my mind, cuz Ran Pooba,
legend.
I like it.
Jamar.
Lord Jamar.
He was saying something about when the battle was happening, saying he didn't see the Los Angeles street urban culture and Kendrick in that battle versus.
That's crazy. Game. We saw it in real time.
In real time, bro. The pop-out show happened.
I wanted to show you could put the gangsters with the backpackers on the street urban concept. And you're not gonna be able to pick out which one is which. So I wanted to do something with, to me, which is the most legendary backpack group in LA. No disrespect to the Far Side or no other successful acts, but Jurassic 5, you know what I mean? That's a big deal internationally, no different than Far Side and them. So it's Wanted. It's called Wanted. You can pre-order it on iTunes, or you could listen to it tomorrow. It's uploaded and created in a special way to really be honorary towards the music business. Check it out, man. You can pre-save it and all that.
Definitely gonna for that, Glasses. Thank you for your time.
Family.
We'll again real soon, bro.
No, fellas.
Yes, sir. Glasses Malone pulling up on a quick check into the round table. Y'all know on Mondays, any and everyone can pull up.
You see what goes on over here, yo.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
West
bit of
Coast
this,
affiliates.
little bit of that. Quick running. I didn't even tell my guys I was hitting glasses on the side. I'm like, yo, pull up real quick.
Like,
You know what I mean?
hey, the
Little
homie.
surprise entry.
He pulled up like Kendrick at the Clipse show, bro.
There you go. You get it, Sin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shout
Hey,
out
yo,
to G, man.
hit the like button, hit the subscribe option. We want to roll to 30K. We can only get there with your help. Hit the subscribe option, run those up, hit the notification bell. You know what I mean? And this is what we do here at the Rap Roundtable. We are the rap podcast in the space. We not on anybody's side. We don't have no agendas to push. We only push rap. That's it. And if you like it or you don't like it, oh well. We're gonna keep pushing rap. And if niggas want to talk about, I saw somebody super chat said the best show on TV is Drake versus Kendrick. Yeah, damn right. And we're gonna talk about it. Last but not least, before we get up out of here, we gotta talk about that Supreme Clientele Part 2. It's been a lot of talk over the weekend. It's been a lot of talk in the chat about this album. A lot of guys was commenting on old podcasts saying, he did it. People wanting to hear us talk about it. Deanie the Balance, you're up first with this topic.
Yo.
Your thoughts, Supreme Clientele 2.
I was surprisingly impressed. You know what I'm saying? I really was. Shout out to Ghost. I feel like with what they always say, man, as you age, no matter what you do, you kind of fall off a little bit and whatever you're exceptional at, but I feel like as long as you can hold on to at least enough of that talent and hone it in the right way, you can do some amazing things with it, man. Let's get into this album. First of all, intro by Redman. Very few people get the kind of respect Redman gets in this fucking industry, man. So I thought that was very clutch, very vital. Like, we don't give Redman the credit he deserves. Definitely one of the greatest lyricists in this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, from back then to now. He still raps now, and he's still impressive. Me and Sin seen him perform. Shout out to Redman. Not too long ago. Yeah. It was Red and Meth. Fire. Yeah. Just the energy, even at that age, the energy they bring to the stage. I just thought that was dope for him to get, like, of all people, Redman. Iron Man, the actual record, not a fan of the voice. You can't change that, though. You know what I'm saying? This is just degradation that just happens with time. Not shitting on GFK for that at all. But the flow in that record, the energy, the pocket, everything was there, but the raspy Ghost that we know. So I actually enjoyed that record. Sometimes the attempt is all you need, and I think the attempt was great. Sample 420 with MOP. Speaking of voices, I didn't think I would enjoy my man Billy Dane so much without the Warriors kind of voice. You know what I'm saying? But he actually sounds really good rapping in the normal voice. But I've never heard it, to be honest. And Fizzy sounds good too. And I like the energy that they had with Ghost. One thing I would give about Ghost, on every feature that was on the album, he had great energy and great chemistry with everyone. Curtis May was fire. SP still got the juice. Conway can show up anytime he needs to. Now, when Fourth Disciple came on, can't lie, I was like, whoa, this sounds like Starks. You know what I'm saying? This don't sound like just Ghostface. This sounds like Starks. This sounds like Ghost Dini. I was very impressed. Actually, I think the run between Curtis, Fourth Disciple, Windows, the Paw Skit, and Georgie Porgy really is where the album is, like, in its golden arch for me. You get what I'm saying? That little repeat back, and I love the Paw Skit because it's so culturally sound. Fuck what niggas is talking about. Pause. You heard? Force MD skit, the old school joints wasn't really my cup of tea. I appreciate the attempt because I understand who he did it for, but it wasn't my vibe. That's Force MD skit, beat breaks, break beats, and beatbox. Cool. Rap Kingpin sounds even better than I heard it the first time on the album. I know a lot of niggas don't like the songs, a lot of trepidation towards it. I love that record. The energy I get from that record, you can't buy that. You know what I'm saying? You can't teach that. That's a true sonic bop to me. If there is a single on the album, that would be it. Sale of the Century with the Dave Chappelle joint, loved it. The trial, the court case scheme, the method they all used in bringing that into the trial record, I thought that was fire. Like, I love the fact you got some knock, you got some lyricism, you got great features, and you got schemes. You know, who thought we'd be getting schemes in the Ghostface album in 2025? I respect it. Shout out to Escobar. The Love Me Anymore, Soul Thing, and Metaphysics back to back. Another golden moment of the album for me, bro. I can't front. Like we were talking about it, Mace. Metaphysics sounds way better on the course of the album than when I heard it as a solo track. I really was like, this is great for a nigga who's like 50. I feel like if you're 50, this is leaning, but as a nigga listening to it now in the course of the album, it's fire. Lenny Green and Zoom, good records. My friend would you like
You finished it?
who we got?
All right.
Who's in the building? Who's in the building now?
I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hold on. What's happening, man?
What's good, my guy?
What's good?
What's good? What's good, fellas? This
How you
Trap
feeling?
Brad show, man. I'm good, B. How y'all doing, man?
Yo, Jarv, you're muted.
How'd you get this link?
My brother Glass Malone. My brother Glass Malone gave it to me. What's going on?
Copy.
Yeah.
He ain't tell us on the side. He gave you what's the word? What you got for us, real quick?
What's the word? Nah, ain't nothing, man. I heard he was pulling up here, though. Y'all remember me, though, right?
Nah, bro.
So I'm like, hold on, I see you here. I'm like, let me talk to you real quick, because I'm like, maybe Glasses slid you the link real quick.
Nah, I'd rather just, I ain't gonna interrupt y'all conversation y'all having right now. Y'all continue on with it.
We
Maybe
talking
one
about this
time
Ghost album.
Nah, Ghost album fire though. But maybe one time y'all come over to the lunch table one day and we can discuss everything. You know what I mean? We're just
That's a fact. We can build on that, bro.
Hey, Les,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
We not
Trap,
opposed
we
to
gonna
it.
stay connected, my guy.
Yeah. Trap Bradshaw, you heard?
Say
I'm
Les,
gonna
I'm gonna hit you on Twitter right now.
Yeah, do that.
Right.
Connection. Right. And then we end off with the Knuckles joint, which is a skit. I personally like the album. If I had to give it a number, I'll probably give it like a good 3.5, bro. Like it's way more than I thought I was gonna get. And I'm not saying that to shit on Ghost, because I love Ghost. Ghost is one of my faves. But skills degrade after a certain amount of time. And there's been a few artists we've been listening to, Clipse, Nas, you know what I'm saying? A few other niggas that's like of that age range who are still like floating like water. But that's not what I expect from most artists. But shout out to Ghost. He gave me a lot on this album, bro. You know what I'm saying? That little two-pack of the 3 or 4 songs I like in succession. That's more than what I wanted, bro. There's some really great spins on this for me. There's even a couple joints that might be at my end of the list joint. I ain't gonna cap. Shout out to Ghost. You pulled it off, my nigga.
Interesting.
Mesito, your thoughts?
I'm not as hype about the album as Dean. I think the album is good. I think somebody in the chat said it. It's good, nothing more, nothing less. You know what I'm saying? Ghost has such an insane ceiling on his artistry. You know what I mean? So I try my best not to be, waiting for the old Tony. You know what I'm saying? Waiting for peak stalks. You know what I'm saying? So I tried to go into the album with a completely like, okay, almost like this ain't Ghostface, right? You know what I mean? Because I know he wasn't going to be able to live up to them levels. So with that being said, there are some good joints on here. Deanie, they mentioned
got some joints.
It's like you say, there's songs on here that clearly come from a past era. Clearly, I don't know if it's 03, if it's 05, if it's 06, but clearly an era where he was more in peak form. Mm-hmm. And those are the standouts. You mentioned Fourth Disciple. There's a couple more in here, I don't know what for it, but those are like the standouts, right? The modern tracks are, it's like Dean said, like it's clearly like a degradation in Ghost skills. And I don't want to like drag that on, because I understand it's very exciting to have, what a lot of people's favorite Wu-Tang member back out on the scene. So I don't want to like drag that on and make it seem like I'm trying to get at him, but you can't escape it, right? You can't escape it. And with an artist that, an artist that I know what he can do at his best, it's hard not to be taken down by that. Now, a couple things stick out to me on the album that let me know, this might have been a difficult album for him to finish. There's a lot of 2-verse joints on here, a lot of 2.5-minute songs, couple 1.5-minute songs going along with the skits. I'm like, it's some filler on here. You know what I mean? There is. You hiding it, but there's some definite filler on here. The guest appearances came, you know what I mean, to not to fuck around. You know what I mean? Khan and Styles, they went crazy on Curtis May. You mentioned it. Yeah. I think, Dean, you mentioned the Method. I think you missed the Method Man feature, which is is Method. At this point, we may have to give Method Man the crown of the best feature rapper in the game if we haven't already. One of y'all might have already said it.
You shot, bro.
Last time I heard a whack Meth feature verse, he's the exact opposite, right? He's completely in shape, so he absolutely killed on that verse. It's just Nas on. You mentioned that thing,
yeah,
Nas crazy. You know what I mean? He's another one who like.
That's a great record, bro.
Like, what type of CMOS is going on? He killed on Love Me Anymore. Nas is going so crazy. You gotta think, what's best, this or the Raekwon verse? Like the Nas's artistry right now has you more than ready for this him and Primo album. Like we know Nas is going to be in top tier form. But it's just it's just a few too many joints that I'm like, I'm just not feeling it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So while it's good, for me, it's just very hard to get away from the Ghostface of it all, right? Jordan on the Wizards was a all-star level player, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Had a couple 40-point games. Talk about it.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Talk about it.
But if I seen Mike jumping over niggas for 10 years, I'm going to be like, hey, you know what I mean? I'm going to be looking at it differently.
Facts.
So that's what it's like. It's very hard for me not to be like, this ain't the real Ghost. You know what I mean? But it is a good album. There are some very good joints on here, and I'm happy that him and Mass Appeal, he's mentioned in his interviews about how excited he was to be releasing this album on Mass Appeal, releasing it with Nas. So that the energy of it all, I'ma support it. I'ma stream it. You know what I mean? Like I support Ghostface in the movement, in the action of it all. So salute to that. But the album just it don't cut it for me, especially this year. You know what I mean?
Talk to me, Sin.
It's gonna be a rough one, man.
Oh no.
I think I might have to hand over the Ghost fan. I don't know, the cape,
mantle,
the mantle, whatever it is, over to Dini, man. Because I guess I don't know what it is. Like y'all share the Dini name. You know what I mean?
Oh man,
Ghost Dini.
Yeah, man. Look, again, just to catch everybody up. If you're new, Ghost has been a top 5 MC for me my whole life. Since he dropped, you know what I mean? Since Iron Man, Supreme Clientele, Pretty Tony album, Bulletproof Wallets, Fish Scale, More Fish. The discography was at one point one of the illest discographies in the game. His delivery, his flow, his imagery, his imagination, his storytelling, top tier, all of it. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But it's 2025. I mean, Fish Scale came out in 2006. More Fish came out also, I think the same year. I think it was like back to back. It's been a long time since I've been excited about super excited about a Ghostface project, right? So now here comes Supreme Clientele 2. He decided that was a choice. That was a choice to call it Supreme Clientele 2. And I'm sorry, I say this with all due love and respect. This album had no business being called Supreme Clientele 2. Supreme Clientele, the original, is one of the most masterful bodies of work front to back, most masterfully crafted, the production, the flows, the imagination, the imagery, storytelling,
wordplay,
the posse cuts, wordplay, all of that. Like it just like it didn't lack in anything, right? And then here, there's a lot lacking. I'll start, I guess, with what everybody's talking about. Like, Ghostface is not in the same rapping shape that he once was in. And so,
I said that.
Yeah, I mean, all of us have been saying it.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely like, that's very, very evident. Listening to this album. I go from song to song, and there's like varying versions of Ghostface throughout the album. You know what I mean? And remember when I threw it in the group chat when Metaphysics dropped. It was right after we had finished recording 130. I listened to Metaphysics and I was like, oh, this is clear. This is 100% clearly a 20-plus-year-old song. Some from the cutting room floor, from like, Pretty Tony album or Bulletproof, probably from the Pretty Tony era, right? And lo and behold, he goes on. What was it? Was it the Bootleg Kev show, or was it? Or was it Big Boy? It was
He done
one.
a shitload of interviews.
Yeah, he was outside.
I think
he definitely talked to Bootleg Kev though.
And he said as much. He said that there's going to be songs on this project. And there was a lot of songs that he had recorded over the years, and he tucked them away. And saved them. For whenever Supreme Clientele 2 would drop. And the way I'm feeling listening to this album is like, originally 20 years ago, he had an idea. Maybe I'm going to drop Supreme Clientele 2 at some point, and then that just kind of like carried on, and he would record songs, and they would get cut from certain projects, and he would put them away. And then it just never happened. And then 20 years later, he's on Mass Appeal, and he's like, you know what? If I'm not going to do it now, I'm never going to do it. So fuck it. I'm going to put it out. I'm going to call it Supreme Clientele 2. I'm going to record new shit, and then I'm going to have all of these older recordings from like 20 years ago. Some of them sounded like 15 years ago. Some of them sounded like 10 years ago. It just sounded like a collection of... I don't want to disrespect, but it sounded like a collection of cutting room floor songs that didn't make it to projects. You know what I mean? If he would have called it a Lost Tapes, if we would have called it like 20 Years of Ghost, if he would have called anything else, there's no reason why this album should have been called Supreme Clientele 2. And it almost makes me mad that he called it Supreme Clientele 2. As big of a fan of Ghostface and of the Supreme Clientele as I am. Now, to judge it on its own merit, without the name Supreme Clientele 2, it's still not really hitting for me like that. You know what I mean? The production to me was very consistently mid. Like there's not a single time I listened to a record and heard the beat drop and I was like, oh shit, who produced this? Because that's what I do. You know what I mean? Like if I hear a beat and I'm like, God damn, like I go to the credits. You know what I mean? Because we have credits now on Apple Music. Back in the day, it was
the same, saying
linear notes.
I'm like, yo, who produced this? What sample did they flip? Like, what did they do here? Like, this shit sound crazy. I never once listened to this album did I feel like doing that, man.
Hold on, time out.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about the. Where do you access the linear notes at? I didn't know that.
There's
Are you playing?
3 dots.
Tap on, the 3 dots and view credits.
Yeah.
And you can see
do that right now.
You see the writers, the producers, the engineers, all of that.
Exactly. Yeah, all of that, bro.
Why took niggas so long to give us the shit we was already accustomed to? That's crazy.
Then let's talk about Ghostface and his performance on this. Definitely, it sounded better on some joints than others, but again, of course, some of them are older. You know what I mean? Fourth Disciple clearly from like back in the day.
I'm geek right now. I ain't gonna lie.
This whole time, bro.
I feel like we've been gatekeeping from Joe.
My fault, Joe. You know
what it is? I'm sorry, Sid, but because I know Apple don't give me that shit, I just don't look for it. I just play the album. And then I'll go to if I want to know, I'll go to Genius and get the rest of the information. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's right there for you, Brody.
As you were saying.
Metaphysics was definitely, something from back in the day. Candyland was definitely something from back in the day. And I like the records from back in the day. You know what I mean? But they're very clearly not of today. They're very clearly not something that Ghostface just recently recorded for this album. And so it's just like sort of this mixed bag of like, the evolution of Ghostface for the last 20 years. And I don't know how else to say it. It makes me kind of sad because I listen to some of these records from 20 years ago. I'm like, yo, that's the Ghost I remember. And then I listen to some of the joints that he just recorded. I'm like, damn, he don't got it like that no more.
A Fourth Disciple.
And the production's not really helping. You know what I mean? So all in all, it's just like, the whole packaging of it all. Pause. But the whole package of it all, like Supreme Clientele 2, the repackaging of older songs with the newer songs, and then like I get to see like how he used to sound 20 years ago versus how he sounds now on the same exact project. it's not for me, dog. I'm sorry.
Shout
out
out, you
Sin.
giving this shit a 2, Mo.
Shout out Sin for speaking this truth. And you know what? I won't waste your time too much. There is like a, because I'm not in a rush to like I don't want to pan Ghostface in any type of way. I want to be clear about that. But I've learned throughout the existence of this podcast that as much as people like to pretend that they're being fair, and by people I mean specifically some of y'all in the chat, there's no way that you're grading a Ghostface album, what's her name? Slick Rick album as an example. I won't put Raekwon in that because I think Raekwon is very much still in shape.
Yeah,
like some of the legendary.
His album, I didn't want to
way better. It's way better.
Album is better than this.
Yeah,
oh, it's not even a conversation to be had.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Because Raekwon, to me, Raekwon is in that Method Man class where the degradation is almost non-existent. But it's like for some of the legendary acts, I feel like y'all grade them. Y'all be lying, but y'all do grade them on a different scale than y'all grade the artists who are actively younger and in shape. Like you're not grading Ghostface and Slick Rick on the same scale as an example, a Conway, a Benny, or a West Side. You're not doing that.
Right.
And at the same time, I'm not judging you for doing that, but I do get annoyed when y'all try to come at us and ask us what our scale is, knowing full well that you allow grace for the legends, and that you should. They're 90s legends, they're two early aughts legends who put the pain in. And then y'all get aggressive with us when we say, you know what, I can hear degradation. I can hear age. I can hear the gruff. And the irony of this album is, everything that we talked about as far as what we're hearing and not hearing from Ghost, it's right on this fucking album. That's the first time I used the word F word all day. I'm getting better, guys. You know what I mean? Because you hear young Ghost on songs, gang. There's a song. Matter of fact, I wish I could remember it because the thing is, I was cleaning my yard, being an old man, and there's a song on this album towards the end. I think it's is it the Zoom? It might have been right before the meth joint, where it's clearly the first verse is 20 years ago. Then the second verse is still Ghost right now. Did y'all heard that song?
Yeah.
The first verse is
that's the
Ghost.
Zoom.
I think it's Zoom.
I think it's the Zoom. It's Young Ghost immediately followed by Old Ghost.
Old Ghost,
and it's not even a concept song where Young Ghost is talking to Old Ghost.
That'd be crazy.
Copied and pasted some shit together, and you niggas come in here spamming our comment sections. Yeah, I'm upset now. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Y'all not even thinking about the attention to detail that goes in the albums. Yeah, just listen to the bars, and then I say this album is fire. And yes, Ghostface lyrically is still sharp. The pen. Some of these artists will never lose the ability to write bars, right? He'll never lose that. But if you're talking about piecing together a fucking album, that's two. Because I'm annoyed. Cohesiveness. There's certain songs that just suddenly stop, and then it goes to the next fucking song. How is that okay?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Because
that's true.
I'll tell you this. It might have sounded like I pandered the whole thing. There's songs that I enjoyed. Curtis May.
Yes,
Curtis May was fire.
Styles and Conway. Conway again. Top notch, like constantly shows up and just like steals the show.
I'm telling you, Sin, that combination of Curtis May, Fourth Disciple, Windows, and Georgie Porgy, bro.
But here's my problem. Curtis May is clearly a new song, and it's a good. It's one of the good newer songs.
Right.
But then the way it ends abruptly, and Fourth Disciple comes in with no warning whatsoever. And the Sonics are 20 years old. The flow, it's clearly Ghostface from 20.
Old stocks.
Let me get back in.
You put those two together back to back like that and just leave it like that?
And it needs to be said. Y'all come on here and y'all scream how fire this album is. How the fuck am I supposed? That's three. How am I supposed to charge you? How am I supposed to trust y'all when y'all come and y'all lie to me in my comment sections? This album is not fire. It's a solid project. But y'all liars. Matter of fact, if y'all come in here and say, Ghostface is an OG and I'm gonna say everything he does is gas, I gotta respect that. But if you coming in here, oh, you better apologize. You better apologize.
That's crazy.
Why?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Why should I apologize? This album is not cohesive. It's pieced together. Some of it hits
very pieced together.
in the middle of the fucking album. That's full.
Yeah.
Because I've been waiting on this second.
Yo,
On the
nigga
middle
going
of
crazy.
this album, randomly a DJ. There's a whole DJ set in the middle of the album that's trying to recreate an '80s feel.
Yeah.
Right? Out of nowhere.
Not a fan.
Out of nowhere. And I don't care if you outnumber me. There's more stupid people than smart people on the earth. I'm not worried about being outnumbered. I will survive the apocalypse. You know what I'm saying? But
shit.
in the middle of the album, where does DJ came from, Sin? Out of nowhere.
Right.
Supreme colonoscopy is crazy.
And then he just leaves. Never to be seen again.
but then Rosenberg comes in to intro Metaphysics, to intro it as a song from 2004.
Yeah.
And it's just such a random moment.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar wasn't out in 2004.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about?
So it's weird. It's such a mixed bag. Like Dee said, I wasn't here for like.
I'm in here crying, bro.
I'm sick of these niggas, man. I am sick of these niggas.
Sick of these niggas.
Gotcha.
I wasn't here for break beats. I wasn't here for beat pop. I still don't really like Rap Kingpin.
Ooh.
It's not as bad as originally. Like I might move it from a red to a yellow. You know what I mean? In my color scheme grading system. I'll tell you the ones I like. Curtis May was dope. Fourth Disciple was fire. The Trial was dope. Even though bit of a rehashed concept, but it was dope. Candyland was fire.
Different.
That's classic Ghost.
Candyland's gas.
The Zoom was dope too, even though it had that problem where it's like, which Ghost are we getting on this? But rapping over the Commodore's probably greatest song of all time. Zoom, you know what I mean? I can't hate on that, but I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even love the record with Nas.
Nah, Nas
you're wilding.
Nas got off on that.
You're wilding, bro.
Nas got off. I'm just saying as a record overall, like.
Nah, I love that record. I ain't gonna hold you.
No, Omerta over this. 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, easy.
So
all right.
That's how I felt.
You ain't capping.
Oh, I'm sorry. And Georgie
Porgy's fire, bro.
Georgie Porgy is like 100 perfect quintessential Ghostface.
I'm telling. That 4-peat back to back, bro.
Perfectly quintessential Ghost. No, but you have Windows.
You don't like Windows? I fucks with Windows.
No,
I want to let the record.
Here's the thing. There was a couple of times where the beat was really fucking him up, bro. We got to be honest.
And the BPMs on this album wasn't even that high, bro.
It wasn't.
Windows was kind of fucking him up. There was a part in Sample 420 where it was like
I got my pressure high, B.
He went into trying to squeeze too many words into the verse.
Yeah.
And it just
don't got the same breath control.
He didn't land it, and it was like, yo, what? Like when I listened to Sample 420, and shout MOP because MOP
Billy dance, bro. Sounded amazing on that record. Yeah.
Honestly, it was fizzy for me.
Fizzy, whoa.
But Billy too.
And Andre Miller, I didn't like the Freddie Gibbs album. That was them niggas. I told them this album was just okay. They over
that's just getting better. It's getting better. It's getting better, Jav. It's getting better as I listen. It's definitely number 2 right now.
I don't even trust my guys no more.
Right behind the Clipse album. Right behind the Clipse album, Jav. I can't cap it, bro.
Real tooth fire.
And again,
I'm the rap now.
I'm the captain now, nigga.
It pains me to say this, but when I listen to Sample 420, I'm like, that song starts when MOP comes in. Because MOP,
they showed up.
They
showed up, man.
Sounds so good still in
I was impressed. I was impressed, man.
And meanwhile, Ghostface is here struggling to get through his verse. Like I don't want to see it. It pains me to see that. I don't want to hear that.
And as Mace said, even like Meth on You My Friend, the way he was just rapping, like exceptional rapping, bro. Like
you got out rap quite a few times.
A lot.
You know, like the Conway Styles P.
A lot. Even some of them features
He
on
got
the
out-rapped a lot on here.
on the Soul Thing joint. Even some of those niggas on the Soul Thing, them niggas was rapping, bro. Like I can't cap.
All right. Let's wrap this up though, fellas. I mean,
sir.
We did the poll.
They're gonna come for us. They're gonna clip this.
I don't care.
They're gonna clip this, and
We'll
they're gonna
right.
say that we said Ghostface has been whack his entire career, and
we're gonna tell niggas to watch the whole video and go see what's up.
Yeah, like what Scarface said, you need people like us so you can point your finger and say that's the bad guy. We'll be the bad guy this time. That's all right. Yeah. You know what I mean? We did the poll just now. 100 people voted. 54% of them gave the album a 4. Another 14% gave him a 5. You guys are liars. You know what I mean?
Niggas gave him a 5?
Lie to my tongue.
This is a cool 3.
It's a cool 3.5. 3.25 to 3.5.
Niggas are liars, bro.
Niggas said 5 Mike Classic.
5?
5. Niggas are treacherous.
Y'all dangerous. Anyway, let's get to these super chats so we can get up out of here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe option, hit the notification bell. We love y'all for pulling up and rocking out with us. Each and every Monday.
I'm sorry. I gotta get this up. Before we get to that, I understand wanting to uphold the OGs, the legends, and everything of that nature, but we gotta keep it a buck. We can't be out here lying. We can't be out here like grading shit on a curve, on a tilted scale. Like we gotta be truthful about this shit. You know what I mean? I understand wanting to protect the OGs.
Right.
Nobody understands that more than me. You know what I mean? But our ears work, and we gotta be honest with what our ears hear.
We're not slandering the Wally Kingpin, Andre. We just saying this album is not what y'all say it is because you lot are liars.
Niggas
That's
said
all I'm
5,
saying.
though.
We
5
still love
crazy.
you.
Listen,
we still love y'all. We
listen,
just don't see it the same.
I'm gonna say it again. I've recounted this several times already, and I'm gonna do it again. I recently had to take Ghostface out of my top. Ghostface was in my top 5.
Painfully, by the way.
Ghostface was in my top 5 from 1996 to 2024. Think about that.
Michael Brown, if it don't apply, let it fly, gang. It's for the liars. You're not one of the liars. Okay?
1996, his Iron Man dropped all the way to 2024. That accumulation.
That's a heavy run.
That accumulation of material of music.
28-year run, man.
Top 5 for me. You know what I mean? But then, the recent work has to be taken into account as well. Kendrick ascended. Common held it down with his Pete Rock project. But he got to come off. It was Ghostface. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Then stop explaining yourself to these liars, bro.
They don't
negotiate with terrorists.
Sin is a good guy, man.
They need the full picture because some people are new.
It don't matter, Sin. Why you always explaining yourself to these niggas? They can say what they want to say anyway.
The full picture.
What's your official rating?
What?
You said a 3.
Makes you wildin'. We going to the super chat. We're not even gonna do that. That's all. We'll be here for another half hour arguing with niggas.
Tried to be flagrant with that one, you know?
I dig it.
Derek Matthews with a $5 holler says Drake is gonna buy Pac's BMW and have Chubbs drive like he should. This is your king, mate.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Derek, you got me, bro. You got me.
Jermaine L. Johnson, weekly supporter, says, what does salad have to do with ass? Ghostface Killer. That's an important question.
Oh, yeah.
If you go to an Italian restaurant and you got the bowl of the lettuce and they put the salad dressing and they toss it, that's not what that got to do with ass. That's a tossed salad. You know what I mean? I see the vision.
Yo, pause, yo.
Yo, the pause skit.
Humble Bragger says, let's continue to kick his back in, but if the Iceman album delivers, we can't be biased, sucker or not. There you go. Someone who understands. Terrell Evans, never seen this name in the super chat. Love, $25 holler. We love that. Got to pay my hip hop media dues. Keep up the good work. It's appreciated. Thank you for that, Terrell. That's what we do.
Salute, family.
Man.
Derek Matthews circles back, says Drake thinks he can soak up hip hop culture aura and authenticity like Space Jam by purchasing memorabilia, but it's not gonna work.
The like Mike sneakers.
BTG, what's good, family? Says,
Salute.
when will Drake cosplay Aubrey? Euphoria. That's clever. Very clever. Very clever. The $10 holler from T Mac, week in and week out, constantly showing love. We love you, T Mac.
Love, bro.
Down in Dixie says, another longtime supporter, the boycott is the dumbest idea ever. Drake is in federal court accusing UMG of a conspiracy to devalue him through reactors. If it's not true, why the fuck would they create their own conspiracy to devalue Drake with the boy? See,
hey, yeah, with it, he gets it.
That's what I'm saying. This, if anything, Drake ain't trying to mess up hip hop. He's trying to mess up the money. If anything else, if y'all really seeing what's going on,
money, man,
messing up the money. Yeah. Because thing is, what it does is real quick. What it does is he's trying to call into question any good that an artist like a Kendrick or anything in that orbit does, because they're gonna say there's fake support by way of reactors and remember, it was the paid reactors, bots, so on and so forth. He's trying to create this illusion that none of the support is real or only him is getting the real support, and that's why I can't. You know what I mean? But I digress. Jeremy Cole with a $10 says, Kenny continues to make iconic hip-hop moments. 18 months of perfect moves. Tupac begging for attention. That love dot is getting for hip-hop is everything that Tupac has ever wanted and will ever get.
You're not saying this is facts, though. He's not capping.
No, I'm not saying the other one. M. Marquis says, to anyone still riding with hip-hop is boring now, you are a lame. Drake vs. Kendrick, best show on TV. Crazy album releases. Great live shows. You don't like it? We don't care. West Coast. M. Marquis with the super chat at night. Mike H, longtime supporter as well.
Mike.
Feature run, 7 album release, Vegas, smear campaign, etc. Any chance Nas can steal 2025 in the fourth quarter with a solid showing on the Mob album or Fire Primo album? Absolutely. What'd you think?
Yeah, good point, Mike. Good point.
Yeah.
MVP is still up for grabs.
No, still ain't slacking, man.
Oh yeah, if he dropped 30 in the fourth quarter, there's nothing to talk about. FBA Kings TV says New York hip hop media bias. He's talking about the popular former rappers now podcasters. Yeah, we can't. You know what I mean? They don't speak for the city. And Mark, in fact, them guys get called old by the young guys who's outside getting active. Just so you know.
Facts.
And Marquise, they call us old too. I'm not even separating us from that pack. They call all of us old. They don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? If Drake was a clear movie character, he'd be Wise from Belly, West Coast. Yeah. Yeah. What is his name? DVLDOG6996, formerly known as LW with a $10 holler, says, thoughts on the reactor dissing in response to being named in paperwork litigation. That Screwface reply that dropped in the other day in particular. Trash, mid, fire, what y'all fellas thinking? I'm not in the reactor space. Macito, are you familiar?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
What do you think of this?
Thought it was a little mid, but you might as well get into it. He named you in the lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? You might as well cash in on the audit. So I thought it was ingenious. I didn't like the bars, to be honest with you, but I thought it was ingenious. He dissed us. We better get in the studio.
Yeah.
Dini got the bars for him. I'm just gonna do the ad libs. You know what I mean? That's it. I ain't got no raps. I don't want to embarrass us. Do remember when we first started the show, our original intro has Dini rapping the song. We might bring that song back one day.
Throwback intro.
Dini with a calm 8 bars. It was
not too crazy.
Don't get it twisted. Dini got bars. Don't get it twisted. You know what I mean?
I boogie with the best of them.
Another strong live, another 2-hour live. Some of us will be in trouble after this. Great live though. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe option, hit the notification bell on the way out. Dini the balance. Tell them what to do, man.
You heard that, man. Hit that like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. We here working for y'all. We love y'all like y'all love us. Salute. Shout out to Jarvie. Shout out to Sincere. Shout out to Macito. Some guys stay cooking. I'm Dean, the balance of the force. And we couldn't do what we do without y'all. We love y'all. The Rap Round Table, Monday Night Raw. You dig? Stay fucking tuned.
Sir,